And the Chargers grab the 7-0 lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses. Without
a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. The previous run, good for 9. Here's 2nd and a yard.
Watch the slant. Watch the slant. Slant, slant, slant. Shoot. Watch the shoot. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Whip.
Now a give, right side. Carson. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down. If you start assessing what went wrong last week, Charles, in their loss, had nothing to do with the ground game. They ran it well.
And you also have to say to yourself as a team, don't go away from what worked. That's not the reason the game was lost. Running the football over time, when you do it consistently, usually translates into wins.
And they're hoping to do it consistently here. They'll run on first down. It's Carson, and he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40. Now it looks like we've got a Bronco that's banged up on the play. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. 2nd and 6. And the Chargers rush is going to get there. Down he goes. Joey Bosa in there for the sack, and it's an important one from a personal standpoint, as that is sack number 100 in what has certainly been a terrific career to this point.
Mike 37. Let's go, D. Let's go. Slam. Hey, check 24. Check 24. Say. Check 24. Check 24. Hey, Sam off. Lee Griffin.
They're going to look to throw. He'll get this to Philip Lindsay, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And the play goes for 19 yards, gives him a new set of downs. So from Charger territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line.
Rush in. Watch the eye. Check three. Rock it.
They'll run for the first time with Philip Lindsay. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Under 10. 10. Deuce. He's coming. We got time. Fair. He's coming. Now.
Here's a 2nd and 7. And he's going to have the hook up to Sutton. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Look at me. Go. Ready?
On 3rd and short, this is Janovich. And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. Give him 3 yards and a fresh set of downs.
Let's go. Let's go.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Go. Hey, exit. 56. Get it.
Looking to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Come on, set.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a second down and 17.
Shit. Slow out. Watch the ship. Hey, watch the ship. Watch the ship. Check 50. Check 50. He's crashing. Hey, Haywood. Right there. Hit it.
They'll look to throw, and he's going to go down again.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game.
Check. Lucky. Undercrunch. 25. Check 25. Check.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin him back. The Charger drive about to get going. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number one that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now. 2
yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. This is Gordon. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the first down marker, and now it's third down.
And let's pin the mirrors back and go full strip.
Darnold on third down. He'll rifle this one deep right side, and that's caught inside the 35. It's a big one there for the Chargers. 43 yards. So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10.
Here we go.
Darnold now to throw. This is caught. Touchdown, LA! In for the score. For the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Here we go. 90 Wolf. Here we go. Slam. Check. Switch. Five.
On 1st and 10, it's Lindsey. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
Go. Check 3. Check. Hard.
On 2nd down. It's Lindsey, and he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. He's going to air one out. And that is incomplete. Took a shot there on 1st down, but he couldn't reel it in.
Have to give a lot of credit to the defense on that play. They were prepared. Ordinarily, when they take the big shot downfield to the big guy, that's usually a mismatch that the offense is used to winning. But the preparation showed for the defense, and they were able to bat it away.
Ready.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10.
Kill. Switch. Watch the safety. Leo. Big grip.
On 2nd down, a run with Lindsey. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go.
A 3-yard gain on the play brings up 3rd down.
2 minutes to play, 1st half. It's 14-0.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice hit, boy.
A reminder coming up at halftime, we'll head to Orlando. Standing by there, Jonathan Coachman. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL in this 2nd week of the regular season.
Check. Wall. Get wall. Go. Bravo. Let's go.
They'll set up to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. That's sacked by Tremaine Edmonds.
Well, someone's been up to the task so far in this game. They are already up a couple of scores, Brandon, and guess what? I think they're just going to pin their ears back now and get upfield, get after the quarterback.
Been such an impressive first half to get that lead. Just a 30-yard punt that time. And it'll be Charger football here as they take over. The Charger drive about to get going. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But it's the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
And he's able to get most of what he needed on the carry there. 7 yards on the gain, and it's 3rd and 2 now.
We're going to start. 4-7 the mic. Hey, me and you all day.
They'll try and run it. Here's Gordon. And he's going to have a first down, but not sure it'll matter as the clock will continue to run. The Chargers going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. Now Gordon on 1st down. And how about that for just running out the clock? 36 yards on the play.
How about our reigning AFC Player of the Week, hot-footing it into the secondary on that run?
Yeah, nice long run. That's what got him the award a week ago. Maybe he's trying for 2 in a row here this week. To throw is Darnold. Complete. Hunter Henry with a grab. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now Darnold. And this will be caught in the end zone for a Chargers touchdown. From 10 yards out, the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead.
And that's a lead that excites a team as they head into the half. Good way to finish things off.
Yeah, able to extend that lead, and you always say it, that can totally change the complexion of half number 2.
Yeah, it changes your morale, changes your outlook, but even before that, let's see if they decide to kind of squib kick or what they're going to do on the kickoff, because you don't want to give up a big play right before the half ends.
Good point. So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman. So the Chargers will start the second half with the lead and the football as we're underway in the third quarter. Fielded about a yard deep. Yeah, some might have returned that one. He won't. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start the drive from the 25. The Charger drive about to get going. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. From the 31, Darnold. And he will find his man on the outside. And all the way in for a Charger touchdown. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. For the Chargers, they're able to widen their lead. As a former DB, you might not like to see that, but from a wide receiver's perspective, those are the plays they dream of.
Correct on both counts, all right? Because once he took off, I mean, let's face it, that should have been done in Big Sky Country. Aren't any speed limits out there? And off he went. Glad I wasn't the one trying to chase him.
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's second and a yard from the 34. They'll go again with Lindsey. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
On the double. 56. Check 56. Hey, here I come. Here I come. Here I come. Hey, Sam off. Get it.
They'll try and run for it with Lindsey. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They'll look to throw here. Screen pass to Lindsey. And some room to work. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 17 yards for the Broncos there as they've got themselves a first down.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
They try to run on first down, but this defense says no dice. They stop them a couple yards behind the line of scrimmage.
56, right there, 56.
Hey, team 6, team 6.
At the 47-yard line.
Here we go on second and 12. He's got his big tight end, Fant. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face third down.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
Hey, Charlie.
You. 56 is Mike. 56 is the Mike. Oh, yeah.
5.
Out of the gun now on third down. This is the tight end, Fant. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down.
Set, ready.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on first and 10. Now back to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Joey Bosa, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. He's looking for another 4-sack game. That's how many he had last week. That's his 3rd.
And when I watch him rush the passer, the thing that always comes to mind for me is how well he uses his hands. The martial arts stuff that a lot of guys do in the offseason to work on those, paying dividends for him. He's getting home in a big way.
Call that a gain of 5 as the clock ticks inside of 2 minutes to go now in the 3rd.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day. Hey, switch gears, switch gears. Kill, kill, kill. Kill, kill.
Check. Bam, bam. Lee Griffin.
Back to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Offensively, they're going to have to figure this out before next week. 7 sacks in 1 game.
Yeah, and that's more than any quarterback should have to bear. And if this continues on, there will be another quarterback in the game because no one can stand up to this week after week.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. The Charger drive about to get going. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, in fact, you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
A gain of 13. It's a 1st down. We have played 3 quarters. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Darnold going to lead the offense up 1st and 10, and he's completed all 7 of his passes thus far. They run it here with Gordon, and able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one good for 13 and a Charger 1st.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Watch the run, watch the run. Good shot, baby. That's right.
Darnold on 1st down. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Here's Gordon. And he's got it across midfield and into Denver territory. Pretty good running there, 9 yards. Sets up a 3rd and 1.
Right here, right here.
Darnold will throw it on 3rd and 1. This one complete into the hands of Higgins. That one good for 13 and a Charger 1st.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target. He's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Von Miller doing what he does best with a sack. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Here's Darnold. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And he's got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Chargers. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys continue to put this one out of reach.
There's no doubt in my mind.
And do you hear that? Do you hear the...
It's not scales, right? I don't hear scales. Do I actually hear a tune being warbled?
I think the fat lady's humming.
Yeah, she's doing more than humming. She's belting it out right now.
She's full bore.
Yeah, this thing is flat out finished.
That's fielded in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line.
Ready?
The Broncos onto the field, ready to start their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points. You feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run.
At the 17-yard line.
Watch the screen! Watch the screen! Watch the screen!
Now.
2nd and 9 now. Got a man open. It's Sutton. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Move. Ready?
They'll set up a throw. Catch is made by Harry. And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
He wasn't ready. He wasn't ready.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down.
Back. Look at me. Go. Get it.
They'll try and run forward Janovich. And he picks up the 1st before he's taken down at the 29. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Set. 90 Wolf.
Here we go, D. Get off the field. Alert flare. Alert flare. Flare. You go tight. You got tight.
You're out.
Check it.
On 1st down, Lindsey. He'll have a 1st down past the 40. 25 yards, the pickup there, and also a 1st down. On that last run, he's now hit the 6,000-yard mark for rushing yards in his career.
And moves him squarely into the top 100 rushers of all time. In fact, he can boast that he's rushed for over 1,000 yards more than Gale Sayers did in his career. And Gale Sayers was a Hall of Famer in a short career.
The pass there complete to Sutton. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Broncos 1st down.
Nice game there, partner, but you and I both know that won't do anything for the final score. They're not going to win this one. Right now, they're playing for pride and fantasy points.
And just to erase that goose egg, nobody wants to be shut out. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on 1st down, that fits the bill.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bronco football as we get you reset here. They're looking at 2nd down now as they search for a consolation score. Another run by Lindsey. And they'll be inside the 25 now at the 24. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
Check safety. Slam. Shoot.
Look. Squeeze.
Shoot.
Shoot.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's 2nd down. Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
Watch the whip. Pick the edge. Go. Check.
Go.
On play action, they'll throw. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Desmond King there on the coverage. Another incompletion. You know, it's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
From behind, and he's going to be driven down.
One thing that I liked about this guy during the draft process was his motor. Of course, I loved his skills, but he plays hard on every down.
And that motor on full display there as he gets his first NFL sack. Out is Carlson now for the Raider field goal. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is right down Broadway. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
The Charger drive about to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.